A very good Tuesday morning to everyone out there across the Wobbles community and beyond. Landon here with you to bring you your latest weather and night forecast courtesy of Ohio Valley Insurance. And do we have some things to discuss and talk about? First and foremost, we have the opportunity of seeing a multi-day severe weather event unfold here across our region and beyond. Need to be paying very close attention, staying weather aware, having multiple ways of being informed should any warnings be issued as we work over the course of the next 48 to 72 hours, all right? We're looking at a broad overview to kick things off this morning. We have got both Tuesday, today, and tomorrow as potentially severe weather days, all right? We currently have the vast majority of our region underneath a 2 out of 5 on the severe weather risk scale for today. They've already upgraded us to a level 3 out of 5 tomorrow. And we're going to be paying very close attention to this, folks, here over the upcoming hours as this weather maker evolves. So let's go ahead and let you jump right into it with what's starting off for us here this morning. All eyes are on an approaching line of strong, even severe warm storms as we speak. This is outrunning the bulk of the instability and shear that's still located a little bit further off to our west this morning. The good news is this line of storms is showing and being in a weakening state. You can see the Wobbles community outlined in the hot pink there on the right side of the screen. This will be the initial arrival of the showers and storms today. Whenever this weakening, what should be a weakening line of showers and storms, make its way into the area between mid-morning on into around lunchtime, all right? So let's get a gander and a glance across the region, shall we? Beechtree News Skycam showcasing some wispy clouds coming in off that cloud cover from the bulk of that activity coming right along the Mississippi River that we were just looking at. Beautiful scenes over in that direction. Beautiful sunrise down in Gold City as well with the Sexton Bill Builder Skycam showcasing a wide variety of coloration there for us to soak in this morning, all right? Let's jump over here and let's take a look at the current readings across the region. We're already located between the low and mid 60s in the temperature department. Folks, dew points are already approaching the mid 60s as well. We look for dew points right around the mid 50s to start to sustain any sort of strong or severe storms. We're already achieving those values, and unfortunately, those are only going to be on the increase here as we work throughout the day. Getting a view of the surface map and the setup for today, our focus is on this cold front that is approaching from the west. We have this sprawling upper level low located across the northern plains. You can see it right there on the west side of the Dakotas. And this sprawling cold front stretching down from an area of low pressure, although it's not signaled, where the occluded front ends right here in northern Iowa. As this cold front presses eastward throughout this afternoon and into this evening, that is whenever we are anticipating the higher severe weather threat for us today will be arriving across the region. So we want to jump over here and we want to try and give you a breakdown of what's exactly going to be unfolding for us. We're going to look at the short-term guidance here. We're going to zoom in for you, and it is showcasing this morning, here comes the line of storms that we were just looking at on radar. As previously mentioned, it is outrunning the bulk of the storm fuel located out to the west, and this appears to be in a weakening state as we progress through mid-morning and work a little bit on into the lunchtime hour. Now, the question marks remain on the convective evolution after this line of storms gets through here. It is worth mentioning, folks, you can see as we work into this afternoon, we will have the opportunity at some supercell thunderstorms developing as we will be firmly located here in the warm sector with a cold front still well off west of the region. We're going to need to watch this closely throughout this afternoon and on into this evening, folks. We have all severe weather threats that's on the table. Damaging straight line winds, we could be looking at large hail being developed, and yes, we could have tornado potential with today's setup as well. But look at all these little discrete little supercells that these models are blowing up here. That is somewhat concerning and a reason why you need to be on guard throughout this afternoon and on into this evening. Take a look though, as we get past sunset, the discrete cells kind of move away, but look here off to the west right along and ahead of the parent cold front. Guidance is hinting at this congealing into somewhat of a QLCS, if you will, a quasi-linear convective system with some embedded supercell thunderstorms coming along with that. So folks, this severe threat looks like it's going to stay alive, not just throughout this afternoon, but as we progress past sunset tonight. Not ideal whenever many of us are laying our heads down, all right? And then we take a look at this and it clears out by the time we work into the very early pre-dawn hours of Wednesday and on in and throughout sunrise, okay? So this is what we're going to focus on right now as today's setup. Coming along with today, as previously mentioned, is the surging dew points. Moisture is a very important ingredient that is needed to support strong and severe weather. We are already seeing readings in the mid-60s this morning. Take a look as we get into this afternoon, folks, on into this evening. We got dew points on the cusp of the low to mid-70s. More than sufficient moisture to support the opportunity at strong and severe storms, all right? Not just that, take a look at the storm fuel, the instability that's going to be available in our atmosphere. It looks kind of meager and meek here this morning, but again, as we work throughout the day, look just to our west with the arrival. This afternoon is whenever we'll start to see the peak of our severe weather risk, and then working into sunset this evening. Look at the values becoming maximized there right across far western Tennessee, western Kentucky, encompassing the Wobbles community as well. Folks, the ingredients are going to be in place for strong and severe storms as we work throughout today, all right? Now, after we work past today and into tonight, we have a potentially even more concerning, more robust setup for strong and severe storms tomorrow. So here we are looking at today. Here comes the initial line. Then we have the sporadic development of strong and severe storms this afternoon on into this evening. It looks like we could catch a brief lull in activity during the pre-dawn hours of our Wednesday through roughly mid-morning on Wednesday. But then very quickly, folks, we are going to be keeping our eyes on this developing surface low, all right? This thing is going to be churning off to the east, and as it does so, take a look at the surface setup. We're going to be needing to keep very close eyes on where exactly this surface low is going to end up, because right here along what's called the triple point, just to the southeast side of the low is where we can see lift maximize along with spin in the atmosphere that could create an even more robust environment for large hail, but also the potential for long track and violent tornadoes, okay? So we got the deep, warm, moist air surging in here out of the Gulf, and then whenever the low continues to track off to the north and east, it's going to be bringing that cold front along with it, and I do not like the proximity of the triple point in relation to the Wobbles community, points down through middle and western Tennessee as well, as where our severe weather risk could be maximized in the Wednesday time frame. So jumping back over here and taking a look at our Wednesday, we go back to the short-term model guidance, and throughout our Wednesday morning, we can have a warm front that's lifting north over the region that could be bringing some strong and severe storms along with it. But folks, more concerning, take a look at Wednesday afternoon on into Wednesday night. Take a look at what guidance is spitting out here. Now, folks, this is where we're taken with a grain of salt, but we have got multiple strong and severe storms, and you can see kind of this shaded area right along and trailing behind these monster cells. Those are shear markers that signifying a significant amount of spin in the atmosphere. So if this model was to come true, it looks like we could have a parade of supercells impacting the region, Boeing line segments. It just doesn't look that great if I'm being honest. If storms are able to fire at just the right timing with the nerf surface heating that's going to come in here, folks, and if this does unfold, we could be looking at a possibility of a significant historic severe weather event here across the region, all right? That's why we cannot stress enough that you need to have your safety plan in place before any of the strong and severe storms arrive today and again throughout tomorrow. But our gonna need to keep our alertness on a high level coming along with this, all right? There is still some bust potential if we can get loads of showers and storms in here tomorrow morning, thick cloud cover that would help mitigate this. But folks, guidance has been rather consistent of bringing just this. You see those shear markers, folks, late tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow evening is bisecting right across the heart of the wobbles community, all right? We don't like to see that, but you can see here, folks, not just that, we're not going to be done after the initial round moves through. Here comes another cold front as we get later into the overnight hours that's going to keep our severe weather risk alive for an extended period of time. So not ideal in the weather setup department for us, but it is worth paying very, very close attention to here, folks, over the next 48 to 72 hours, should any of this become realized and come to fruition, all right? So I want to jump back over here, and I want to give you the full breakdown here as we work over the course of the upcoming days. First and foremost, we are going to focus on today. We could have a few strong storms move in here late morning with the remnants left over of that line of storms that we were looking at on radar to begin the video. Okay, but you can see here multiple rounds of strong to severe storms will be possible today, beginning this afternoon, lasting through a good chunk of the overnight. All severe weather hazards possible, including very large hail and tornadoes. Strong tornado cannot be ruled out. The Storm Prediction Center, folks, places our threat risk assessment on a probability scale, okay? That probability scale is within 25 miles of X occurring within 25 miles of you, okay? So this afternoon into this evening, we have a 15% probability of seeing large hail, okay? We're not talking about just severe hail of 1 inch in diameter or above. We're talking about the opportunity of seeing ping pong golf ball size hail or greater, a 15% probability. We have also been given a 15% probability of seeing severe damaging winds upwards of 70 miles an hour. And last but certainly not least, you can see there on the right side of the screen today's tornado probabilities. We got the bulk of wobbles underneath a 5% probability of seeing a tornado within 25 miles of you. But do you note the dashed yellow coloration encompassing far northern Edmonson County and Butler County? That's given us a 10% probability of seeing tornadoes develop within 25 miles of you. The hashed area signifies the potential for strong, long track, violent tornadoes. Now we shift gears and we go into Wednesday. We have already been given a level 3 out of 5 on the severe weather risk scale. Right now, tomorrow looks to be a little bit more robust on the severe threat than even today, all right? So right now, here's what we're looking at again. Scattered strong to severe storms Wednesday afternoon through Wednesday night will be capable of tornadoes, very large hail that could be in excess of 2 inches in diameter, and strong tornadoes of the magnitude of EF2 or greater cannot be ruled out. Additionally, storms will possibly form into a squall line arriving Wednesday night after the initial round of the discrete cells move through here. Now you will note, folks, on the Wednesday severe weather hazards, they are a little bit more potent than what we have seen this afternoon and evening. We have been given a 30% probability within 25 miles of you of seeing hail at or greater than golf ball size. We have been given a 30% probability of seeing wind gusts upwards of 70 miles an hour. And yes, we are encompassed in a 10% probability of seeing tornadoes occur within 25 miles of you. But folks, look there on the right side of the screen. I do not like seeing that hashed area outlined by the Storm Prediction Center for us, signifying the potential of a 10% greater probability of seeing large violent tornadoes on the magnitude of EF2 or greater on the tornado magnitude scale. In addition, both today and tomorrow to the severe weather risk of severe weather threats, we also have our excessive rainfall outlook with our grounds being saturated from loads of rainfall that we received here over the past several days. We could be looking at additional 2 to 4 plus inches of rainfall depending upon how many storms that you're impacted by here over the course of the next 48 to 72 hours. So please be aware of that as well. And of course, last but certainly not least, be prepared for the nighttime potential of severe weather impacting the area. Have multiple ways of being informed should any warnings be issued. Have your emergency alerts sent on your phone. Go ahead and make for sure these are charged up should any power outages occur, so that you are already prepared and ready to go. As always, we will be watching this thing like a hawk, be covering it up like white on rice, and we'll be bringing you the latest updates as necessary. And of course, if any severe weather alerts or warnings get issued across the Wobbles community, we will be live across all of our platforms to bring you the latest information as deemed necessary. I want to give a real quick shout out as well. We'll be working with all of our local partners here across the region. And I want to give a shout out to Miss Heather Carter. She's a great storm chaser that is located here in and around the Wobbles community. Chases around here from time to time. Be keeping eyes on her as hopefully she'll be out and about, being able to help us keep spotting and eyes on. So go give her a follow across the platforms over there on YouTube as well. She is a vital resource that we like to utilize as well. She does a great amount of community service here across the community. Here's a look at your next 5-day weather forecast, folks, both today and tomorrow. Rounds of showers and storms, all right? They'll be more scattered in nature this afternoon, becoming more apparent and widespread overnight throughout our Wednesday and into Wednesday night. Do not let your guard down. We're going to have lingering leftover moisture. It'll leave a few scattered hit-miss shower and storms throughout the early part of our Thursday. Still going to be extremely warm and muggy, but then the cold front passes here by Thursday evening, opening up the door to a drastic change Friday on into the weekend. We're going to be talking about partly sunny skies. We will keep an isolated stray shower or storm chance in there. But look at those high temperatures. Mid and upper 60s on Friday, right up between the low and mid 70s throughout the entirety of the weekend. Friends, it's going to wrap up your Tuesday morning weather night forecast, brought to you by Ohio Valley Insurance. You all take care of yourselves and each other. Stay weather aware. Don't be scared. Be prepared. Have your safety plan in place now before any potential severe weather arrives. You all stay safe. Have a blessed Tuesday.